with Dean first, I don't have a definite. I know he didn't break anything. We'll do an MRI tomorrow and see how severe it is. Hopefully in the morning have a little better idea. And again, I don't want to say anything and then come back and not be able to and then not be able to back it up. So with Cam, it was he actually said he stepped on a player's foot on their bench on the sideline, and it was the same foot that he broke last year. I think he tweaked his ankle, but there is a little pain in the foot, and obviously when you go through that, you have he's a little bit frustrated, disappointed, scared. So we'll. I don't think he's going to get an MRI unless he has severe pain tomorrow. So a credit to our guys. Both you got. Cam really played. He made shots. He had 4 assists, 4 steals. Did a great job. I thought. Our seniors after last week, struggling, they stepped up to the plate, and we had. If we wouldn't have turned it over with those pick sixes. Probably would have been in a lot better shape. Obviously, 25 points off of turnovers. It's almost half the points for them. In the half court, we did a pretty good job defensively. You're one of the better players in the country to 10. And, Barry, and that's with Barry with, 2 fouls and sat a lot of it and then 4 in the second half. So good team effort. We talked about refocusing on team success, team defense, being excited for your teammates. Probably the stat of the day is 23 assists on 25 field goals. You can't get much better than that. Obviously, it helps to make shots to get assists, but they moved the ball and got it to the open man, and that was very it was really important, obviously, to be able to do that.
I know it's early, but do you expect Cam back anytime soon? Or
I think Cam is. I hope, just talking to Luke, I don't know about Wednesday, but hopefully, Saturday. He actually came back to the bench, said he could go back in, but then I think he sat there a little bit, had a little swelling, some pain, and we went on that run, so there was no sense in even trying with him, going back. So hopefully, we'll know more tomorrow. I never thought Mike McGurl would play this week. After last week, because that thing was swelling up, discolored everything, and, to his credit, and probably the one time it helped to have exams because he didn't have class, so he could do treatment 3 times a day, and he was very determined to get back in the lineup, and, 5 assists, helped guard Simmons, did a nice job. Our bench was good, and probably the one guy that doesn't get much stat line, McCall Maween, plays 28 minutes. He only has 2 points, 1 rebound, but he hedged ball screens. He fought things. He helped. A lot like last year, the Oklahoma with Young. Barry got a lot of credit, but it was Mack in those ball screens doing a great job. His energy was big time for us, and I know everyone wants to score, but if you figure out a role and help the team, it obviously helped.
Well, for you guys to finish the way you did without Dean and Cam, just how encouraging was that?
Oh, it's big time, and Barry stepped up, made some shots, they made some good passes. We kind of had a couple little. I thought when we moved the ball in the first half, I thought we had good looks, good attack. There were times off and on, that we got stagnant, didn't move the ball like we needed to. But when we flattened the zone out, got it swung, got an overload, Mac posted up. He didn't get the ball all the time, but he kept one of their guys always occupied in that zone, so that allowed some easy shots for our other guys, because when you move the ball in that zone, keep shifting, obviously that allows some open shots, and that's what we had.
You had a stretch tonight between the under 4 in the first half and the under 4 in the second half where you out-rebounded them at 21-7. Like, how big was the boards tonight at a time when, like you said, turnovers were a problem, but you kept ending possessions with rebounds?
And the other part is the offensive rebounds. We had 3 or 4 offensive rebounds that gave us extra possessions. We also talked about, we didn't. I don't know if we took a charge, maybe one. He got him on that, but that was a big thing. Our big emphasis was take charges, get on the floor for the loose ball. Mike McGurl got on there in the second half, got that tie up. All those possessions, the extra one on the offensive rebound. Those obviously that would make a big difference. And, we backed up our good defense again. You hold them to 43, 25 from the field. You did it without fouling. They only get to the free throw line nine times, 17 turnovers. We got one of the better defensive teams in the country. Stat-wise, for sure, I think we are one of the better teams. But, we got tested without 2 really good players, and you got to be proud of our guys.
Not that this isn't always an emphasis, but how much did you make sure to let the team know, hey, we got to play to the very end because you saw what happened at Alabama and this team can close strong.
and first half we got up 9 or 10, and all of a sudden, boom, a couple turnovers, pick sixes, they go down, the game totally changes. Second half we get up 9, and then they went on that run. Obviously that's in that stretch. Dean gets hurt. We talked about finishing. I was surprised they kind of backed off at the end. Those last 2-3 minutes, I thought they'd come scrambling at us, pressing us and doing some things. But, for the most part, we took care of the ball down the stretch. We made the right play, hit shots, got offensive rebounds, got stopped. And, you wanted to finish the game. And especially how hard we played to get control of the game, for our guys' sake, you hope they had enough energy to finish it, which they did.
And I know it has to emotions be somewhat tempered after winning, just given what happened with Dean and Cam, but just how good otherwise does it feel to get back in the win column after these last 2 weeks?
It's been a long 3 weeks, I can promise you. I'm sure they feel the same way. I told you guys, probably hindsight the schedule, I wouldn't have, would have moved that Denver game to midweek before Tulsa, not had such a big gaps with the games, but in the long run, things happen for a reason. I really believe that, and we had to have some adversity. I didn't want this adversity that we had tonight, but hopefully it'll help us grow as a team and really focus. I thought that stretch run. I told them, I said, you guys, we went to the Elite 8 without Dean Wade last year. I don't like that he's not in there, but why can't you do it, play and win a game at home at least? And, they rose up and did a lot of good things. It was a good team win.
Bruce, 2 questions. First question, you guys hit a season-high tying 12 three-pointers tonight, and sometimes it comes in and sometimes it doesn't. How good did that feel tonight, being able to get those 3 balls?
I told Wyatt that we're a warm ball shooting team. We were in the Virgin Islands. We got 12. 80-some degrees today. It's about 60 degrees. That warm weather really helps. But I hope it's not the only reason that we make shots because there's a lot of cold days coming up. But, we put a lot of time this last 2 weeks into shooting. And shooting is muscle memory. It's habits. It's putting in the time. We went, I went back to old school stuff, one-handed form shooting, weighted ball shooting, spot shooting, and obviously it paid off. Now we got to continue that, and hopefully the temperature is supposed to still be in the 50s on Wednesday, so hopefully we'll be all right and shoot the ball well in the warm weather again.
Second question, heaven forbid something bad is going on with Dean, but Barry mentioned the fact that you guys have played with Dean before last year. Maybe how is this team equipped to be able to move on if Dean is to miss a couple games?
I think it's a good thing. And again, I don't want it to happen. I feel bad. Dean didn't get to go through that run last year. Obviously, he's the one who got us in the tournament. His play or one of the guys. You feel for him. But things happen in life, and we've been through it. We played without him. Other guys got to step up. They did tonight. The bench was great. From Mike McGurl to Sean to Cardi, Levi, they all got it. And Austin didn't get in tonight. He's not a great zone guy, but he'll have the opportunity on Wednesday night. There's no doubt about it, and hopefully bring his energy back.
Coach, what did you like best about what Barry did tonight?
I thought he shot shots that he can make, and he didn't really force things, and he let the game come. What he had 8 points in the first 8 minutes or 7 minutes or something, and he just, I think we forced the action. I always use the analogy, we were hitting grand slams when no one's on base. And, just be basic, be solid. 8 for 10, 4 for 5 is pretty good. And, but I think all our guys, we did things we can do. We moved the basketball to, 23 assists, 25 field goals. I mean, that's, it's got to, I don't know if there are records, but it's got to be close to one.
Coach, Barry got the scoring started with scoring the team's first 8 points, and throughout the season you've had trouble getting going from the start of the game offensively. Is that a concern going forward?
It's something we talked about, and especially after last week. I thought, Marquette, we were fine. That game, we've had some where we've had good starts and some we haven't. Obviously, the Tulsa game was not a good one. We've talked about you got to play the game. You got to start the game with emotion. And I think we had a little hangover from Marquette. It was a big game. It was a crazy game. We didn't deal with it very well. I probably didn't deal with it well. And it was reflected in the Tulsa game, but we did fought. And I knew it was going to be a hard game. We fought our butts off. I was just hoping we'd find a way to win. But, again, they responded. We had great emotion today to start the game. I thought we had good energy. And, obviously when your seniors step up and do what they did, you got 21, 15, and 12, it's very, very positive.
I just wanted to ask about how much can you say just about the defensive performance of holding, Simmons, 50% below his season scoring average.
Yeah, I mean, we got defensive stoppers. Barry takes a lot of pride in it. Xavier does. Mike McGurl wants to guard everybody. I think he's a little overzealous sometimes, but it's still a team defense, and that's what it was one of the things on the board. Protect the paint, protect him, make him earn stuff. He actually made a couple nice passes, which he hasn't. All at different times the films we've watched, but. It was a good team defensive effort. There's no doubt about that. And, our coaches do a good job preparing, take a lot of pride in it. The kids take a lot of pride in it. We had boosters from the Catbackers that were at shoot-around, and they were just shocked how long we were there today for shoot-around and how much time our guys put into preparing. But they want that. They want to be prepared. They want to be locked in, and that's why we've had success.
Just as a follow to that, was there any, lingering motivation, considering he's probably the best offensive player you guys have played since Howard put up 45?
I'm sure. It's guys. Like I say, Barry takes a lot of pride. He wants to lock him up. I thought one of the fouls in the first half was a little cheap, but we need him in the game. He's got to be smart. Dean, whoever it is, if they're going to foul, they got to make sure it's not a cheap one where they're reaching. And he had. The one that when he got his second, just let the guy go on a layup. It's more valuable to have you in the game. And I'm not saying give up layups, but, be smart about it. Stay in the game.